Welcome back to Year 2 Spring, Days 6 and 7 of the Stardew Valley Min-Max and 100% Perfection Guide. We will be having 2 Super Luck Skull Cavern dives today, and the first one will be the best we've had so far for this run. We make it past floor 300 and collect over 750 Iridium ore thanks to something I have not used much yet, the Master Slingshot with explosive ammo, which we will see in action shortly. Today, there's nothing we must attend to, so we can warp straight to the desert after getting our inventory organized. Last time, we did complete the Danger in the Deep quest in the mine, so we have a bunch of resources that we had to put in our chests from that, and now we also have to grab what we want to take with us to Skull Cavern, and then we're going to warp on over. It is only 6 a.m., didn't even have any time passed in the day yet, and we are bringing 2 magic rock candies today since we are here this early, and it is a super luck day. So right off the bat, we actually have a big gold cluster here. I would normally just keep going down and up until I find a nice floor, but this is a very nice floor to start on. There's a big cluster of gold and even a diamond there. Now, hopefully we should get a ladder, and it looks like we got one from just mining the rocks. I will be using a whole lot of crafted staircases. Of course, we got these ones from trading jades for the staircases on Staircase Sunday, but we will be using these a lot more frequently today than we normally do. Since it is a super luck day paired with 2 magic rock candies, we'll use those a little bit later. I do think it's probably better to use the magic rock candies earlier on in the day so that we can get deeper faster, since it'll give us increased luck with holes and more ladders down and whatnot. But right now, while we're just using the manual staircases that we just placed down, we probably don't need to use it, although I probably will use one shortly. We shall see. And on that one, I just got a regular ladder down that was already there. And of course, this floor is a really big floor. This one's a definite skip. This one too, we can't really see what's down there. If I can't really see the whole floor and there's not a big cluster of rocks, I will most likely be skipping it, especially this one right here. But this floor, of course, is a small floor, which would normally be a good one to just bomb, but there was a ladder already, so of course we just go straight down this, and we get to a treasure floor, and I just go straight down. I will probably start mining the rocks on some treasure floors to try to get a better chance of a hole, but I didn't on that one for some reason. I'll go ahead and just use the magic rock candy now so we can get a better chance of finding more ladders down and more holes and whatnot. We just continue down, and still nothing too exciting. We won't go out of our way for much right now. Our focus is just on getting down. So even if there's a single iridium ore node or something, we'll probably ignore it. We do make it down to a treasure floor. Nothing too exciting here. I will try out the explosive slingshot here. I did bring that, if you noticed, and I usually don't bring it with. I usually don't use the slingshot at all. But the explosive ammo is actually very beneficial in Skull Cavern, especially for just mining out like single ores like this. Like, I'll go ahead and try it on the gold, but you'll notice something. It goes through the rocks, and that's the big problem with the slingshot. You can't actually aim it at rocks. You have to aim it at either enemies or the walls. Those are the contact points that it'll explode at. And also, interestingly, if you aim it at a ladder or a staircase or whatever, it'll blow up on those as well. It's another contact point, so we'll see a little bit more of the Master Slingshot later. Right now we're just skipping more floors. This one has a gold ore node, and of course I always want more gold to craft more mega bombs with, and also we will be needing gold for crystallarium. So not only do we want to get lots of iridium for selling, but we also want lots of iridium and gold, especially gold, because crystallariums require 5 gold bars each. So we need lots of gold bars for crafting lots of crystallariums, and of course those are just going to get us more jades, put more jades in the crystallariums, and then the jades get us more staircases, so we can get even further in Skull Cavern and get even more iridium ore, and it's pretty much just a cycle, I guess, until we reach 100% perfection. Of course, our main source of money is still going to be the starfruit wine, but it's still fun trying to see how big of a jade production we can get up and how many staircases we can get going, just so we can have some really, really deep and lucrative Skull Cavern runs. We've already made it down to floor 32, that's pretty good, and we haven't even found any holes yet. We've only found our first hole on this floor right here. So that's 32 straight floors of skipping, using ladders, and whatnot. We find our first Iridium node on this one after the hole took us 9 floors, a very respectable amount. And I'll use a bomb, of course, since there was a nice cluster there, and we do get a ladder. I won't try to slay enemies all too much this run. I'm going to focus mainly on getting down, but the serpents can be slayed pretty quickly, and also the slimes if we get them against the rocks. The spiral floor, of course, we'll skip that floor, and we'll just keep skipping all these floors that aren't too appealing. This floor, I'm going to try out the master slingshot again, and you'll notice that the ores that are against the walls like that, we can actually blow up fairly easily, since we can use the slingshot, use the explosive ammo, and aim at the wall right next to the ores, and then there'll be a small explosion around it, about the same size as the napalm ring explosion, and it'll blow up the ores for us. So if there's the ores against the walls, like this copper right here, we can go ahead and use it. And it also just takes a little bit of time getting used to see where the ammo will actually land and then blow up, but I definitely do think that the explosive ammo with the master slingshot here goes quite a bit faster than just laying down bombs. In certain situations, of course, when there's a whole bunch of rocks around, the bombs are going to be better, but when there's just individual ore nodes like this gold ore that was right here, or later on when there's just a few iridium nodes like this one right here, we can just hit right with the slingshot. And it goes a lot faster because with the bombs, we have to place the bomb down, wait a few seconds for the bomb to blow up. But with the slingshot, we just wind it back real quick, release, and then it just explodes right on contact, which goes a whole lot faster than the bombs. Another thing that makes the explosive ammo very nice is that it's very cost effective. It only requires 1 iron bar and 2 coal to craft 5 explosive ammos. We can compare this to a regular bomb, which costs 4 iron ore and 1 coal to craft, but it only crafts 1 bomb. And although the explosion is bigger, often the small explosion radius of the explosive ammo from the slingshot is all we need at the time, especially when the ore nodes we want to blow up are spread apart, and we can just pick them off one at a time. There will be lots of situations still where bombs and mega bombs are going to be better to use, like when there is a whole lot of nodes or rocks all clustered together. We will find this most likely the deeper we go in Skull Cavern, way past floor 100, when the iridium ore nodes start clustering together like crazy, and we will need to cover a whole lot of area with our explosions. For the floors we are going through right now, like from floor 1 to 100, basically during the process of trying to get as deep as possible here, the slingshot with the explosive ammo is most helpful because during this time we will often find just 1 or 2 iridium or gold ore nodes that we might want to pick off and collect, but don't want to craft a whole bomb and wait for that to go off. So for this situation, the explosive slingshot is very nice. And of course, as I mentioned, it is more cost effective since 5 explosive ammo requires just 1 iron bar, which of course takes 5 iron ore and 1 coal to smelt. So the raw material cost of crafting 5 explosive ammo comes to just 5 iron ore and 3 coal. So for each round, it only costs 1 iron ore and 0.6 coal, which is pretty cheap. And here on this floor is a nice example of some spread out iridium ore that we would want to use the explosive slingshot on, and we do. And same thing right here, and then we get caught up a little bit on this floor trying to slay these slimes to get the ladder to spawn. I do decide it's not worth it and just use a crafted staircase, and then we make it to a treasure floor, 10 bombs, not too exciting, but on these floors there is a greater chance of a ladder or a hole spawning down if we destroy all the rocks around it, so I will make sure to always do that. And you can see we did get a hole, which is very nice, but the reason those floors have a better chance of spawning a hole is just because anytime we have a better chance of getting a ladder down, there will be a better chance of a hole because the holes can replace the ladders. So when there are fewer rocks on the floor like this one and we destroy the rocks, there's a better chance of getting a ladder as opposed to a floor with lots of rocks on those floors. It's still a very small chance of getting a ladder each time because the more rocks you destroy or the less rocks there are on a floor, the higher the chance of a ladder spawning and then the higher chance of a hole spawning. So we make it to floor 95, almost at floor 100. We can see a lot of iridium ores starting to spawn, so I will go ahead and mine the ones I can until I get a ladder, and then just continue down, because again, it is most worth it to just keep continuing down and gather iridium along the way while we try to get down. And we make it down to another floor with lots of iridium. We're going to go ahead and start using some bombs to cover a greater amount of area, since the ones in the middle we can't really pick off with the slingshot too well, since the slingshot ammo does explode against the walls. And this floor, 99, we just go straight down and then make it to floor 100. Floor 100 will always have a treasure chest now, which is interesting. We do continue forward now, and we'll try to get as deep as possible here. I will start to skip ahead a little bit, since the strategies we're using are pretty much the same. When there's just small amounts of iridium, I'll try to pick them off with the slingshot until we get a ladder down. And of course, if there's lots of rocks or iridium ore or any other ores to blow up, I'll use bombs, mega bombs, and all of that good stuff. I'll try to slay enemies when I can, if they're in the way or if they're on the way to a ladder or anything. And also, if there are any floors that are very undesirable, I'll use a crafted staircase to just skip down and get to a better floor. But hopefully most of the floors we come across from now on will be very nice, like this one right here. There is just a ton of iridium ore. There's already a ladder to the bottom left, but that's okay. We'll lay a few bombs here to get the iridium, because of course, why would we not? The whole point of the Skull Cavern dive is to collect lots of iridium to sell once we turn into bars, of course. But we do get a good amount of iridium there. I'll use my explosive slingshot to get one more cluster there, and then head on down. This floor I probably would skip, but there was an iridium ore node there, so I went ahead and slingshotted that, and then used the crafted staircase. On this treasure floor here, we get a crystallarium, which is very nice. We need more crystallariums always, so I will go ahead and hold on to that. It does cost 2 gold bars and 5 iridium bars, so it does have quite a bit of value there. We do get another hole here and keep on going down. This is a nice floor to bomb. There's a good amount of iridium and other rocks, so I'll probably lay down this mega bomb here. Although there are quite a few enemies, so I might spend a little more time dealing with them, trying to get some more loot, and then I'll just skip over a little bit more until we're at floor 144. We're getting pretty deep now. I am finding quite a few holes, which is definitely helping the level progression quite a bit here. Our magic rock candy buff has just worn out, so we will want to eat another one soon to get us to the end of the day. We can wait a little bit on it, so it takes us a little bit further in the day, so I will do that in just a second here, right when we're about to get a ladder on this floor probably. So I will slingshot these iridium ore nodes here, hopefully get a ladder. As you can see, it is a little bit hard to aim, but I do eat the magic rock candy now, and we will head down to the next floor. And look at that, we got a hole already, so that's nice. I can get that iridium real quick on the way. Again, even if there's a ladder or a hole, if I do use the slingshot real quick to pick off some ores that are right nearby, it is worth it, as iridium is our goal. So of course the slingshot makes that go really fast, so it's not really wasting any time, so there's really no reason not to use the slingshot to get those iridium ore nodes. We do make it to another treasure floor. I have been finding quite a bit of these, just some iridium bars, not the worst thing possible. We will hold on to those and then continue downwards. Another hole. We are getting very lucky with those, and yet another treasure floor. I am going to just throw out the peach sapling since we don't have any space in our inventory, and as you can see, I did almost run out of health there. We have to be very careful on that. And yet another hole, and on this floor a ladder right down, so that's pretty lucky right there. We'll go ahead straight down there. And then this floor, there is an iridium node that I'll try to get, although I accidentally hit the wall there, so I will just use the slingshot, and it does go through the mummies. You can't actually hit them unless they have already been fallen to the ground. Then the explosive ammo does work very well on exploding the mummies and finishing them off. We do get 3 iridium sprinklers here, which we may hold on to since that is a decent amount of sprinklers, and we will be wanting to use some more of those. It's just a matter if we have the inventory space or not. And on this floor, I am trying to use the slingshot to pick off some iridium ore nodes, although you can see I keep missing. It is a little bit hard to aim. And then on this floor, we continue to make use of the master slingshot to get those iridium ore nodes, and we do get a shaft, so that's nice. Of course, the dinosaur floors we will just skip over, and then the treasure floors we do get another auto petter, although I am just gonna throw it out because I'm just gonna have one barn, one coop, so there's not really any reason to save that. We continue to use the slingshot. The more I use it, the better I'm getting with it, although I am still missing a bit since you do have to aim for those walls and then judge where the explosion will actually affect. Right there, we got a ladder right away, and right here, we are going to use a bomb since there is a bunch of rocks in the middle, and of course using a slingshot there on the wall wouldn't actually, the explosion wouldn't actually reach the ore node. The spiral floor, of course, we're going to be skipping over this one if we don't get any ladder. There we go, we skipped over. And then here, there's some iridium that's against the wall. Those are always nice because we can just use the slingshot. Same thing here. And we are going down at a pretty good rate. Of course, we got a good amount of holes, but we are also just getting regular ladders, which of course always helps as we can just keep going down. And on this floor, we do get a hole again. It's a good chance to get the holes from mining the rocks on these floors. We'll go ahead and heal up and then continue downwards. I did bring some cherry bombs with me since I think we already had them. Of course, I probably wouldn't craft any cherry bombs. They're not really worth it to craft. I'd much rather use explosive ammo since they have pretty much the same area of effect, and also the regular bombs and mega bombs are a bit more worth it, but I did have some already, so I will try to make use of them. And yet another hole on a treasure floor, so that's always lucky. We'll just throw out the white turban, of course, since we don't have space in our inventory for any more vanity items. And we're almost at floor 250 here. You will notice down on these floors, the further we go, it doesn't seem like the amount of iridium we're getting is increasing a whole lot. We're just kind of getting a lot on some floors, and some floors like this one, there's not a whole lot, but that's alright. We are getting quite a bit still, which is always good. And yet another hole. These treasure floors are definitely in a big abundance today since it is a super luck day, and the luck buff from the magic rock candy definitely increases the chances of finding those. And of course those floors can get us holes more often, so that's all adding up to just progressing through the floors at a very fast rate. Also, the explosive slingshot ammo is helping quite a bit as it just allows us to destroy the rocks and ore nodes that much quicker. I will go ahead and try to snipe this iridium ore, although I missed, but I did get a ladder, so we will just skip over a little bit more. We're almost at floor 300 here. We can just keep going down, get another treasure floor, and I did get a ladder, but of course there already is a ladder on this floor. Maybe we'll get a hole. No, we don't, but we do continue down. We got a star floor here, so of course I'll lay a mega bomb in the middle to try to get all of those iridium nodes and then skip over that. Up past floor 300 now, we are getting quite a few iridium nodes. We're just gonna keep mining those, still skip any floors that are bad, like the monster floors, of course, we need to skip those. And on this floor there's a nice variety of ores, so we'll blow them up, continue downwards, and we're almost at the end of the day here. It's 1:30 a.m. I'm gonna still skip any floors that I don't think I can do much on. I'm gonna keep skipping until I find a nice amount of iridium. Right here, I do want to go for the diamond since the diamonds are nice, and then I use this explosive slingshot to get the iridium up there. And now on this floor, there's quite a bit of iridium, so this is probably a good one to end on. We do get a hole, so I'm going to go ahead and test my luck on the hole, see if we can get to a better floor than this one before we pass out. And it looks like it's pretty similar in iridium, so we will lay a mega bomb real quick to try to get some more ore. Of course, once the bomb explodes, I can use my iridium bands to increase the pickup range of the ores. And then there's a ladder right here, so we're just going to keep going down. One more ladder to see as far as we can get now at this point, and we do pass out now here on floor 320. So that's the deepest we've gotten in this run. Of course, we weren't focusing on getting super deep, but we wanted to get a bunch of iridium, so I think that goal was met. We got 760 iridium, so that's pretty decent right there. We got a good amount of other ores as well, a good amount of prismatic shards, 8 prismatic shards, and we do move on to the next day here, which is day 7 now, where we will be having another Skull Cavern dive, although this time much more casual. Although it is a super luck day, we won't be arriving to Skull Cavern until a bit later, as we have some farm chores to take care of first, and it is also Mayor Lewis's birthday today, so we will be giving him a gift, of course. And while we are out in town finding Lewis, we can give out some more gifts to the other town NPCs, as obtaining 10 hearts with everyone is one of the perfection goals, and in order to reach that in the least amount of days as possible from now, we will want to give all the NPCs we do not have max friendship with 2 gifts per week, which is the most that we can. We do have some blue jazz grown here, so we will go ahead and replant those real quick. Then we will harvest the jades from our crystallarium shed. After grabbing everything we need to bring with us, we head to the south farm exit and to Marnie's ranch, where we give everybody in there a gift. Then we stop at Leia's cottage to give her a gift, and then Elliot's shack to give him a gift. Then we finally make it to Mayor Lewis's house, where we give him a loved hot pepper for his birthday, which does put us at 10 hearts with him now, and we can make one final stop at the sewer to give Krobus a loved pumpkin, which puts us at 10 hearts with him. So now we can finally purchase the Void Ghost pendant and ask him to move in with us. We warp to the desert and trade our rubies for some spicy eel and 62 jades to obtain 62 staircases, since it is Staircase Sunday. And while we are here, we also trade 200 void essence to obtain that Void Ghost pendant, which we can give to Krobus at a later time. We arrive at Skull Cavern and use a lot less staircases and bombs than we did yesterday in order to save them for a super luck day, where we can travel to Skull Cavern right away, and of course pair that with magic rock candies as well. I will use the Master Slingshot with explosive ammo quite a bit today, since the ammo is cheap, as I mentioned earlier, and it also allows us to blow up rocks and traverse downwards very swiftly. This Skull Cavern dive will bring us to the end of this day and the end of this video. Next time, on day 8, we will be taking care of a whole bunch of tasks around the valley and island, including giving out lots of gifts and collecting some more golden walnuts. If you are looking forward to that and future videos, please consider subscribing so you can be sure to see them when they come out. Also, feel free to leave a comment with anything you'd like to share. Perhaps let me know your opinion on the slingshot and explosive ammo, and if you use it when you do Skull Cavern dives. Before we end, we'll take a quick look at the results from this dive. We did make it to floor 147 and obtained 255 iridium ore, which is not a crazy amount, but we did start with 239 gold ore and end with 369 for a profit of 130 gold ore, which will come in handy for crafting more mega bombs for future Skull Cavern dives. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.